What's up? We are live. Join us live. Your boy is getting tired and tired and tired. And I done had some sleep. Marcus Holmes, do you work? I remember I remember B More used to be first all the time. So now it ain't B More no more. So yes, we are here to talk about the rematch. And everything that comes with it, the post-fight, the press tour is going on. So for those who didn't see the press tour or whatever, it's like you need to get back to talking about that. And Tom Matthews, Walt Keegan in the building. What's up?
Evander Holyfield once said, "A champion shows who he is by what he does."
So I'm gonna let y'all watch it too, and then we'll do it that way. I'm gonna see if I can flip this.
Back in November, the two best pound-for-pound fighters in the world tested each other like they had never been tested before in their careers. On that night, world champion Andre Ward faced a defining moment.
Well, Sergey trying to convince himself that he isn't, he isn't afraid, and
after that showdown,
because he's definitely not afraid of. You ain't putting no fear in Ward. So you trying to convince yourself. That's all he's trying to do, is get himself convinced.
A lot of excuses. But on June 17th, we will put all that talk to bed. Because Ward-Kovalev 2
This is the Rock Nation representative.
And from this day forward, there will be no excuses. We return to Las Vegas, where all big fights belong. Live at the Mandalay Bay Event Center and on HBO pay-per-view. Rock Nation is proud to be the lead promoter of this global event, presented by Corona Extra and powered by Monster Products. Perhaps no other sport is as much about legacy as the sport of boxing. And make no mistake about it, this is a legacy fight for both fighters. Andre Ward is the best boxer in the world. There is simply no debate. He is undefeated, breathlessly talented, and has gladly taken on any fighter with the guts to face him. For Andre, this fight represents the final nail in the coffin for the rest of this division.
I'm glad while this stream is going on, he doing all this stuttering, so hopefully he'll get out of the system when everything else kick off. Yeah, I think Ward won. I think there's nothing else Sergey Kovalev could really do in the rematch except for just go all out.
He has a lot to prove, which may be why he's been so, let's call it, active. On social media. After falling short in November, Sergey has become his own personal hype machine. In one of his latest tweets, he demanded Andre pray to me. Sergey, I think what you were trying to say was, pray for me. Which we all will do before you get back into the ring with Andre on June 17th. Clearly, the stakes cannot be higher for this rematch. More than just wins and championship belts, this fight will ultimately dictate the fate of each fighter's legacy. MGM and HBO are synonymous with the biggest and the best boxing events, and Rock Nation is honored to be working in partnership with them for yet another historic fight. This event could not have been possible without the support of Richard Sturm and Sid Greenflag of MGM, and HBO's Peter Nelson and Tony Walker. I'd like to take this opportunity to specifically thank them. I'd also like to thank our chairman, Jay-Z, and president of Rock Nation Sports, Juan Perez, for their support of this sure-to-be epic event. Despite what you read in some corners of the boxing world, this rematch was always inevitable. Both fighters wanted it, both promoters wanted it, and I would be remiss if I did not sincerely thank main events and Kathy and Nicole Duva for their professionalism and class in negotiating and finalizing the June 17th fight. Additionally, a big thank you to our presenting sponsor, Corona Extra, as well as Monster Products. I would also like to acknowledge the Parker Meridian for their support and for hosting us all here today. Last but certainly not least, thank you to Team Ward, to Andre, James Prince, Josh Dubin, and Virgil Hunter, not only for once again putting their unblemished championship record on the line under the bright lights of Sin City, but for being incredible partners throughout this process and the best ambassadors the sport of boxing could possibly ask for. Thank you all.
Oh.
Now, I am excited to invite Main Event's owner and CEO Kathy Duba to the microphone. As I mentioned earlier,
Did that everyday struggle start? What channel does that come on? I want to see it before I make an assessment of the show.
We are excited to work with her and Main Events to make June 17th an historic night for all involved.
Thank you, Michael. That was very eloquent. What? I was a compliment. I'm not going to go through all the same stuff. Of course, thank HBO, thank the Parker Meridian, thank MGM, and Mandalay Bay, and of course our sponsors, Corona and Monster. I'll make it short and sweet. My greatest hope for June 17th is that the winner wins this time.
They have done complete everyday struggle on the Complex YouTube channel.
There's no question about who that is. Thank you. Agus Klimas, of course, has just been mentioned. Sergey's great trainer has had a very, very busy week, as we all know. And he couldn't be here today, and so he has sent his assistant, Daniel, who is going to come up and speak on his behalf.
Good morning, everyone. I just couldn't make it. It was fights yesterday. MGM last night. He's happy about the rematch that actually happened. We're excited about it. We're ready. Thank you for all the promotions that have been done.
Yeah, he looks real excited about the fight.
We will making this happen. And he'll be tomorrow at the 7th press conference. So go back to them. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Daniel. You know, Sergey Kovalev has had a lot of hard things happen in his life, and November was another one of those things. He showed me then that in his reaction to that, that he is the champion I always believed he was, and I expect he's going to show us all in June how to get titles back. And here he is, the former light heavyweight champion of the world and future light heavyweight champion of the world, Sergey Kovalev.
Hello, everybody. I will try to speak Russian, okay? Then you will translate because everything what I want to say on my native language. Здравствуйте всем. Я очень рад, что все-таки бой уже будет. По крайней мере, на бумаге это уже написано, что бой будет 17 июня. Я этому очень рад. Спасибо моей команде и команде Ворда за то, что, в принципе,
He's talking in Russian right now, and he's mumbling.
Hello, everyone. I'm thankful that the fight will take place on June 17th. I think it will take place on the paper for now. And I'm appreciative to my team and Team Ward that this fight will actually happen.
также я хочу извиниться перед фанатами бокса за свой последний бой, так как боксировал очень ужасно, делал определенные ошибки в бою, поэтому в реванше ставить на свои места и правда выявим, на самом деле, чемпиона.
I also want to say I want to apologize
принципе, много говорить тут не стоит. Все увидим 17 июня. Вот, все увидят. Вот. Но главное, хочу, наверное, отметить тот момент, чтобы
Of course he knows he lost. And he knows he's going to lose the rematch too.
неделю там
Look at his face.
стоит,
Do those look like confident people going into a fight?
на самом деле худеть, настоящие яйца.
They looking like, man, at least we finna get some money.
Мужик, и он выйдет в бой 17 июня.
I'm not gonna do much talking. June 17th will talk for itself. The only thing I just hope that a week or 2 weeks before the fight, Andre Ward does not get injured, and he have enough balls to come up and fight me on that date on June 17th.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sergey.
You're welcome.
So now we know you speak English. First up from Team Ward, to give you his thoughts on the rematch of David and Goliath is Andre's manager, James Prince.
I'd like to thank God for this opportunity. HBO, Peter Nelson. I also like to say, Peter, you definitely a man of your word as well. We'd like to thank
Mr.
Rock
Prince.
Nation, our promoter, who has stood by us 1,000%, solid as a rock. Warren, Dez, hard-working Mike, your bro, we appreciate y'all. You know, we appreciate all the hard work and the commitment that you all have stood by us with. We're looking forward to this fight coming up, David versus Goliath Part 2. As I said the last time, and I reiterate the same thing because it hadn't much changed, you know, other than we've cracked your code now, you know, Sergio, your code has been cracked. We know who you are now.
His name is
So,
Sergey, not
understand
Sergio.
And you know, come June the 17th, you will see one of the greatest fights ever. And as I stated earlier in the interview with HBO, don't be surprised if Kovalev get knocked out. This fight, it's that type of atmosphere going on right now. So don't you be surprised. So we look forward to that moment, and I noticed that you've been real vocal lately about a lot of things, but you know, you need to know when you're dealing with me and a guard, we don't have no fear or nothing you bring to the table. So understand that. And once again, the United States, we shall be victorious against Russia, as always. And we look forward to it. Thank you.
And now the moment.
Tell him, Jay Prince.
The best pound-for-pound fighter
That's
in the world.
Mr. Prince.
The face of boxing, a proud Oakland native, family man, an athlete Rock Nation Sports is honored to represent. He's 31-0, hasn't lost a fight since he was 13 years old, and a man who doesn't know the meaning of the word excuse. On June 17th, he will continue to secure his legacy as an all-time great. Ladies and gentlemen, the champ, Andre Ward.
I want to thank everybody for coming out today. The media, obviously HBO, Peter Nelson and his whole team. These guys work tireless to get these kind of things done, and I appreciate them. Obviously, my team, James Prince, Josh Dubin, Rock Nation, and everybody at Rock Nation, Jay-Z, Juana Desiree Perez, and obviously Michael Yormark. It's imperative to have a good team. You know, we talk a lot about fighting, and we talk a lot about matchups, but we don't talk a lot about business. And when you talk about business in this sport, you know, it's frowned upon. But then when we see fighters 10, 15, 20 years down the road, shuffling in a room, nothing to show tangibly for what they fought for, that's okay. By the grace of God and by way of my team, that's not going to happen to me. And unfortunately, you know, there's perception and there's reality. When you're young, you get caught up in the perception. You care about every little thing that's written, everybody's opinion. But as you grow and learn this business, and this is what I tell the young guys that I mentor, it's not about perception. The perception is that it's some type of mentality that I'm showing or have shown after this fight that I hadn't shown up until this point. Where does that make sense? Nobody in this room can point to a fighter that I run from. Nobody can point to a fight where I turned. Not one time. That's not in my track record. So I don't mind the perception of, I don't care about an Instagram, I don't care about that stuff, man. This is chess, it's not checkers. You can make all the moves you want to make, but it's about the checkmate. And that's when the game is over. So while they're talking, my team is working, protecting my interest. Life after boxing, which again isn't talked about enough. Educating me on the ins and outs. See, a lot of people talk about the money and the guarantee, but they're not talking about the upside. They're not talking about the personal sponsorships for the fight and your obligations for those sponsorships. They're not talking about the television rights and the foreign rights. They're not talking about the merchandise. You just be tough and keep fighting. Just show up and fight. I'm not with that, man. I want the whole thing. I want to understand everything. The fighting is academic. I've been doing this 23 years. And what they got to understand, there's nothing scary about this man. You realize we just fought 12 rounds 4 months ago? And everybody wants to highlight the knockdown. That's probably one of the most beautiful moments of my career. And then did you guys see the other 10 rounds? Nobody's talking about that. But that's what makes us who we are. We don't have that soft cushion to fall on. It's hard concrete down there, so we don't want to fall. We got another drive, we got another gear that we got to tap into when we hit adversity, when we hit the canvas. And you guys saw that in the biggest moment of my career. I didn't get to where I'm at because there's something weak about me. I didn't get to this point by happenstance. Some may not like it, but you got to respect it. You don't have to, but we've earned the position that we have. So we don't mind being understated. We don't have to meet them tweet for tweet, Instagram for Instagram. Got a lot of respect for Kathy Duvall, but a lot of the tactics are old and played out. Put pressure on Ward. It's impossible. The fight was academic. The fight was going to be had. Let's get the business handled. And when my team green-lighted me and said, hey, go ahead and announce it, that's what I do. I don't worry about perception. The reality is he's got to see me June 17th. That's the reality of the situation. I love to talk. Bill's the fight. It's all good. I love some people feeling like, oh, you know, you lost. It's all good. Bill's the fight. And we locked heads for 12 rounds. He knows. That's the reality of the situation. He felt me. He knows. And that's enough for me. And June 17th, it's not going to be no different. We're going to get started a little bit earlier. And whether you're with me or whether you're against me, tune in. It's going to be a great show. Appreciate everybody's time out here today. Don't miss this fight. June 17th. He got what he asked for.
Oh, wow.
Clearly, June 17th represents more than a boxing match.
Oh, sit down. Nobody want to hear from you no more.
Legacy at
Just stand them up. Nobody want to hear from your mouth.
Fighter's life story will be written.
This guy wanna be a star.
When Andre Ward and Sergey Kovalev awake from a well-deserved rest on the morning of June 18th, there will be no more unanswered questions, no hand-wringing, no contentious debate, no controversy, no more excuses. There will be only one true champion, one pound-for-pound king, one real face.
Who I got in the match? The person
Now,
I had in the first
most
match.
importantly, and write this down,
Sergey
our
Kovalev
ticket
will lose.
pre-sale starts Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. That will be followed by our public on sale, which will start on Friday
Andre Ward
Also,
will beat him again.
at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Ticket prices are as follows: $12.55, $7.55, $5.05, $3.55, $2.55, and $1.05. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending. We look forward to seeing you on June 17th.
All right, here we go. We are set to go. Me versus Meek Mill in there. Oh gosh, are you kidding me? That guy is hoping I mention his name in a video. Right now, he out there dry as my lips. To tell you the truth, he just performed. He just performed in a place where, in Biloxi, Mississippi, an event in which I could have stopped him from performing. If I'd have made one call, he wouldn't have been performing. And that's the double truth, Ruth. If I'd have told him I don't want him performing, he wouldn't have been performing. Lil Wayne said he was signed to Roc Nation last year. What difference does that make? It's not really news because he said it last year. If I was trying to stop Meek Mill from eating, I would have said take him off the card. Bootsy performed. Everybody was on the card. I know the promoters that put it together. If I had a problem with him like that, I would have had, and I'm trying to stop his money, I'd have said take him off. Oh, I will be addressing Tony Romo and the Mavs situation. I put the little thing on Instagram when Shannon Sharp had me cracking up about it. We all cover the same topics, but you know when you're right, because we always seem to end up with the same type of response to the activity. People like, you said the same thing that was on Undisputed, but sometimes they be forgetting my stuff come out before Undisputed. Kovalev knows he got 4 rounds to beat Andre Ward. If he don't knock Andre Ward down in the first 4 rounds, Kovalev is in trouble. Sergey needs to commit to the jab right away and be aggressive and go after Andre Ward. If you don't start off doing that, it's over. St. Paul, Minnesota, what's up? Speaking of Minnesota, don't forget, Rope and Dope Radio Show tonight. 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central Time. Don't forget to tune in to the Rope and Dope Radio Show tonight. Well, I will be on the show. Oh, that new Thor trailer is something else. This is the best Thor ever. Ragnarok, which means the end of all things, was the best story in the whole Thor universe. See, the problem with the movie Thor is that they're not doing what the comics was doing. Thor's best stuff, they keep trying to involve Earth. Thor's best battles and fights had nothing to do with Earth. All in the Thor comics, Thor got all his business done in space. Thor had 2 chicks fighting over him in space. It was crazy. But they keep bringing Thor to Earth and letting, like, Earth is like the main part of Thor. Thor's whole stuff was in space. That's why this is like the real first Thor movie we're having. Ragnarok is getting started the right way. Let it be in space. Thor 2, The Dark World. Come on. That was the worst thing ever. Is Adrian Broner finished? No. He's at a point now where he doesn't think he's invincible. That confidence is gone. We've seen it happen to a lot of the greats. We've seen it happen to Mike Tyson. We've seen it happen to all the greats when they lose that aura. Is HBO finished? As far as being a premier boxing network, yes. Because they're trying to be promoters. And what they're doing is they're not catering to the brothers. They're catering to the Euros. And what they don't realize is that no one in the United States really cares about the European fighters like that, including Triple G. They call it the humbling. Once Mike Tyson lost to Evander Holyfield the first time, he was humbled. The loss to Buster Douglas didn't humble him, because he felt I blew it because of me. Well, the thing is, ESPN is going to end up paying the money back to HBO. I mean, to PBC. The reason why, they had a breach of contract. And if you think Al Heyman is going to run from a lawsuit, you better guess again. But that's my thing. You guys need to talk about these Steve Kim guys. I haven't heard E40's new album. I'm going to do a lot of album reviews. I got movies to review. I got albums to review, the whole nine. I already reviewed, I just haven't put it out yet, the Raekwon album. And the thing is, it's not disappointing to me. It's actually lyrically great. It's just that it's a sameness to it. Like all the songs, he literally got like the first 4 or 5 songs sound alike. When the record went off and the next one came on, I thought it was still the same record. Yeah, I like the Marvin song. He got a song dedicated to Marvin Gaye on there, called Marvin. That's like the best song on the album. Just so you guys could be familiar with who you're facing, or who's Andre Ward is facing. The powerhouse, Sergey Kovalev. Sergey Kovalev has killed a man in the ring. Yeah, Sergey Kovalev was speaking in Russian. I'm finna say, my goodness, the ref kept that fight going. He almost killed Nathan Kovalev. Cedric Agnew from Chicago, Illinois. Well, he's actually from Harvey. Won his night that night. The Mayweather shoulder roll. Oh. See, Kovalev go to the body on Ward and pressure him. He could actually be in the fight. He got to beat this Kovalev again. He can't sit back and try to box with Andre Ward. The fight that showed the whole world right here. This showed the world that Andre Ward could beat him. Bernard Hopkins got dropped and went in there with Sergey Kovalev and survived 12 rounds at like 50 years old. And he couldn't put Bernard Hopkins away. This fight has damaged Bernard Hopkins beyond belief. Bernard Hopkins don't even speak the same no more after this fight. After this fight, he was out the ring for about 15 months. But have you noticed he did not finish Bernard Hopkins? This fight let the whole world that know boxing know that Sergey Kovalev would lose to Andre Ward. That fight would tell you right there, you couldn't beat a 50-year-old man. You couldn't let this man go. And Bernard Hopkins was able to survive. Why? Because Kovalev can't cut off a ring. If you don't cut the ring off on Andre Ward, he could circle the ring and let you chase him and get yourself tired to death. Kovalev killed a man in the ring and didn't care about it. And you talk about he showed Bernard Hopkins mercy? He's not a man of compassion. The most unnecessary rematch in history was putting them two back in the ring. That was the perfect stoppage if I've ever seen one. That guy had no chance, 0 to no chance of beating Sergey Kovalev in the ring. No way, shape, or form. Ward doesn't have any power, but he'd stop Chad Dawson. Okay. I mean, this is back when Chad was something. People love to hate Andre Ward because they say he's boring. Andre Ward is a Christian man. Christian men are boring. They're not exciting. He don't fight. Andre Ward went overseas in the European Championship and fought over there. After they said all he do is fight in Oakland. He beat all the best European fighters. I don't care where you fight them. If you get in the ring and fight them, you fighting them. So what difference does it make? Early in his career, he went over there to promote it. But here's the thing. I don't care where you fight. If you're fighting the top competition, you fighting them. Do you care if he fought him in Detroit. Who cares where he fought him? He fought him. Did he fight Carl Froch? Did he fight Mikhail Kessler and all those guys? I didn't think he could beat Lucian Bute. But I lost a lot of money on Lucian Bute. Ward has got the goods. He's got the boxing IQ. He knows the game. Andre Ward's father, I think he is Irish. He's a white man. I don't know what he was. His mother's black. His mother was a crackhead. His father was a crackhead. They both did drugs together. His dad got hooked on heroin. Ward was forced to become a man very early. He just recently got back in contact with his mother again for the first time in many years. Yes, mixed is black in modern times of America, yes. There it is, the Super Six. Remember the winner of this Super Six, everybody thought was going to be like Mikkel Kessler and Arthur Abram. Carl Froch wasn't even the name they thought was going to be there. Jermaine Taylor was thought to be the guy. When really Andre Ward, I was like telling people, they built this tournament for Andre Ward to showcase Ward. Ward will destroy every fighter in this Super Six. Butte was not in this Super Six. And Mikkel Kessler, who Joe Calzaghe beat, I would have loved to see Andre Ward versus Joe Calzaghe. That would have been a great fight. Alan Green. Remember the man from boxing? What's his name? Greg Leone? That was his guy there. Alan Green. And I'm like, Alan Green is the go to sleep man. That's all he is. He was living off one knockout he had. Besides that, Alan Green was the get knocked out man. See, the little things that Andre Ward does is the things that people don't know at home. They don't see it. You see how he stay over that shoulder? He stay right on that side where he knows he's safe. He can't be hit, but he can hit back. And this is the fight people wanted to see. Arthur Abram, King Arthur versus Andre Ward, who they picked to be in the finals. And that Arthur Abram would destroy him. But what the problem with Arthur Abram is, his style is meant for middleweight, not 168. I didn't hate on Michael Vick. There's no such thing as being mixed. So what would you call it, Nicholas Jacobs? There's no such thing as being mixed. Oh, so whatever your father are, you are that method? You carry your father's bloodline, yes. Meaning your father's blood type. So that's why they always says, well, what was your father blood type? Because your father blood type and your blood type should be the same. So your blood type, meaning like if you're O positive, O negative, yes. But that doesn't make your genetic makeup. Biology course? You really believe that? What movie did I tell y'all to go watch? And I told you it was on television. What I tell you it was called? There you go, Marcel. You know that it's on Cinemax right now. You can go on demand and watch it right now. That movie was made by Caucasian people. Nicole Kidman in it, and Wolverine is in it. And from the very outset, it tells you everything you didn't know. Australia. See? Australia is still on television. When the movie first come over, let me tell you about this. This is during the World War II, Pearl Harbor, all that story. You always hear about what happened, right? Read this. Right when the movie first comes on, what does they tell you? After the bombing of Pearl Harbor, right? On the 7th of December 1941, the Imperial Japanese Navy steamed south, unleashing their fire on Darwin, a city in the Northern Territory of Australia. The territory was land of crocodiles, cattle barons, warrior chiefs, where adventure and romance was a way of life. It was also a place where, what? Aboriginal children of mixed race was taken from their families and trained for service in white society. These children became known as the stolen generations. You see that? They took the mixed race kids because they were bred it on purpose and trained them for white society. These children are known as the stolen generations. White people made this film. They did not promote this for you to know. That's why I told you to watch the film. It's very important that you know the real history. When you hear about Pearl Harbor, you hear about the Japanese bombing the plane, the ships, and everything else going down. You don't know about everything else that happened around the world. They are breeding light-skinned blacks, mixed children, to replace you. Duh. It's been going on since the beginning of time. Way back in the Egyptian days. I told you this. Why do you think now they used to be called mulattoes? Now they ain't called mulattoes no more. They called black. They just call black. They just call them black. And there you go. So now they saying, that's it. You're just black. They don't want you to hear that. You were called black? Or you just like, oh, white chick, black guy, they have a baby? Puerto Rican. But they had a system for breeding. To bring them into white society. They taught them in the film, you will see what they did. They took them on the island and began teaching them. And what they began to teach them was how to become Catholics. The Catholic Church was there teaching the mixed children how to be formal and fit into white society. Because they figure they have some of our bloodline in us. That way we have control. They're docile, more easier to be controlled. Hey, I'm just saying, this is what they were doing back in the day. And I told you, if you watch the film, you see, the Aboriginal people would destroy the kid if the baby was mixed. The mother wouldn't want it, but she would try to hide the kids because the Aboriginals would destroy or take care of the child and dispose of the child because they didn't want that there. Don't tell me that's true. Don't tell me Charlie Murphy just passed away. Please tell me that's false. Oh, man. I didn't know he had leukemia. Oh, man. Well, he can go finally. Rest in peace, Charlie Murphy. He can actually go and be with his wife now. Oh, man, that's sad. Wow. We all gotta go someday, man. Yeah, but we hate to lose a good one. Man, that's it. I gotta finish this now.